The 7-5 Buffalo Bulls, who play second in the MAC East, versus the 7-5 Charlotte 49ers, who placed fourth in the CUSA East. As you can see, the Buffalo Bulls are favored by 6.5 points. And let's take a look over the course of their seasons. First off, let's start with Buffalo, who had a pretty tough schedule. They played at 13th ranked Penn State, of course got crushed. They played at 7-5 Liberty and got crushed. Liberty is a good team, very underrated. They had a tough schedule as well, losing to Syracuse, Brigham Young, and Virginia, who played in the ACC Conference Championship. And then Buffalo lost to Ohio by only 1 point, and that was their only home loss, so they do very poorly away. They lost at Kent State by 3, then they lost at Miami. They did get crushed by Miami. It was Miami, Ohio, not Miami, Florida. And the reason they lost is because of the turnover battle. Miami turned it over 0 times, where Buffalo turned it over 4. They fumbled it 3 times, but they recovered one of them, so they only lost 2 of the fumbles. Well, not only. They lost 2 out of 3 fumbles. That's pretty bad. And then the starting freshman quarterback, Matt Myers, threw 2 picks during the game. Very poor performance. So that's why they went 7-5. Redshirt sophomore quarterback Kyle Van Trees came in after Matt Myers got injured during that Miami game. And during the course of the season, Van Trees has thrown for over 1,000 yards on 60% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and he only got sacked twice. He led Buffalo to a 5-2 record. Also, this Buffalo team is a very talented defense. In that loss to Miami, they held them to 145 rushing yards to 3.8 yards per carry. The defense did very well. It's just the fact that Buffalo kept turning it over is why they lost. They have 2 great running backs in Jarrett Patterson and Kevin Marks, 2 sophomore backs who just have had a phenomenal season. And then outside of the quarterback and running back position, they have a very underrated wide receiver in Antonio Nunn, who's had 5 receiving touchdowns. Then they have just a phenomenal defense. I love Buffalo's defense. They rank 33rd in points allowed, which they only allow 22.3. They're 21st in pass yards, 197.8. They're 4th in rushing yards allowed per game, only 95.6 rushing yards allowed per game. They're 8th in averaging yards per carry, allowing 2.9 yards per run, which is amazing also. They're 4th in first downs, allowing only 15.3 first downs per game. Another phenomenal number. And they're 28th in forcing turnovers with 1.7 a game. So yeah, Buffalo's defense is going to be the reason they win this game. Now, let's get on to talk about the Charlotte 49ers. Charlotte 49ers, they're basically the exact opposite from Buffalo. They have a pretty bad defense, but they have an amazing offense. Okay, Charlotte's offense has been really good this year. And let's start out let's just compare Buffalo. Well, Buffalo and Charlotte's offense, scoring-wise, is pretty similar. 31.6 points per game for Charlotte and 31.5 for Buffalo. Charlotte's offense is a very balanced attack with 212 passing yards per game and 211 rushing yards. Okay, Charlotte's offense has 2.2 rushing touchdowns per game, but Buffalo's offense has 2.8. So very good offense from Buffalo too, but Buffalo's passing offense isn't nearly as good as Charlotte's passing offense. Because Charlotte has Chris Reynolds at quarterback, a very good dual-threat QB. 62% completion percentage, over 2,300 yards, 21 touchdowns. Does have 10 interceptions, but then running the ball, over 750 rushing yards on 5.4 yards per carry, and 6 rushing touchdowns. Chris Reynolds is a very good dual-threat quarterback. Then let's talk about their amazing senior running back, Benny LeMay. Over 1,000 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns to add to that. Very good. He can catch passes. He can just run all over the defense. About Buffalo's tough schedule. Now let's look at Charlotte's. They've had an even harder schedule than Buffalo. Even though they're 7-5, they got they had to play at Clemson, at number 3 Clemson, and got destroyed 52-10. But hey, when you play in the CUSA, you should be happy to put up 10 points on a team like Clemson. Okay, and also they had to play at Appalachian State, who's ranked 20th. Appalachian State has had an amazing year. But here's the thing: when they played Appalachian State, it was 56-41. They were able to put up 41 points on Appalachian State. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Appalachian State is some powerhouse, but Charlotte should be really happy with the results from this year. They've had a tough schedule. Buffalo's had a tough schedule. This is just going to be a really good game. Hey, and this is going to be a very good matchup again. The only difference is Buffalo has a very good defense and a very stable offense, where Charlotte, they have a breakout offense but a horrible defense. So, the experts picked Buffalo by 6.5. I'm going to say Buffalo is winning this game 35-22. That is right, 35-22. Somewhere in that range. I can see Buffalo winning by 2 scores just because of how good their defense is. I mean, they have so many guys that can make big plays and force so many turnovers. This Buffalo team just looks really good. And I really thought Buffalo was going to have a better record than 7-5 at the beginning of the year. But hey, they made it 7-5. They're going to a bowl game. And it's going to be played on Friday, December 20th. So everybody tune into that game. Even though it's not a big bowl game, hey, it's college football. Always fun to watch. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe.